the pre-show is just camera news?
Just cold open into the camera news.
Who put this together? I feel like that should be moved to a different location.
Like where?
Like into the show notes.
It is in the show notes.
Yeah, but it's in the pre-show, and the pre-show isn't necessarily about cameras. It was last week.
It was.
Well, there are actually no pre-show rules, other than there can be multiple pre-shows. But that is also not a rule.
Yep. Pre-show is like Calvin Ball.
It's like what?
Calvin Ball from Calvin and Hobbes. This was in the news recently, but I guess you haven't seen that news.
What?
Never mind.
What is Calvin Ball? And why was it in the news?
That's this week's thing to look up later.
It's to look up Calvin Ball?
Yep.
I mean, what if I just looked it up right now?
I mean, you could.
Calvin
It's the pre-show.
Ball.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, Calvin Ball, the Calvin and Hobbes wiki. Was mentioned by Calvin and Hobbes, recurring in several strips. Wickets, Calvin Ball 3. I mean, maybe I should click the news button. Is that what I need to do?
I don't know.
Justice Jackson accuses Supreme Court majority of playing Calvin Ball one day ago.
In the news.
What?
There's just a whole world out there you don't know about.
What? Okay, I'll look this up later. This looks like politics, which has no place in our show, Daniel.
It's not just politics. Calvin Ball exists outside of the world of politics. And it's related to what you said about the pre-show not having rules.
Okay,
but
got it.
You need more context than you have time to look up right now.
Clearly that's the case.
Did you ever look up the rocket thing?
You know, you told me about it.
I told you the rocket
You told me about it.
Did you look up the Roman Empire thing?
No.
I probably told you that one too.
You did. Yeah. You said that it's scientifically proven.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I still don't think about the Roman Empire. And even after that, it just doesn't cross my mind.
In spite of that.
Yeah, in spite of that. Nothing.
Just nothing.
Nothing at all.
No cameras in the Roman Empire.
Is that true?
I feel like it's true.
Not even like pinhole cameras?
I don't know.
Into dust or whatever? You just poke a hole in like a piece of tree bark, and then you just let over time the sun tan the wall behind it until you have a photo?
That sounds really, really slow. It'll take a long time.
Maybe. Have you done a pinhole camera before?
I have not.
That seems like it'd be fun.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Seen some interesting photos out of them. You just have to make sure that no one touches it.
Yeah. I still think you need to find me some files to 3D print a medium format camera.
I keep looking into that whenever I think about it, and then I never close the thread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just real bad at making that happen.
Someday.
Oh boy, could you imagine? 3D, I'm writing it down. 3D print medium format film camera. It reminds me that I've been shopping on Etsy recently.
For what?
Patches.
Patches. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I bought a new patch.
Nice.
The graphic on my running hat is starting to peel off.
Mm.
And so I have to figure out what to put on the brim, whatever part of my running hat.
You're going for a patch?
I'm going to put a patch on it.
Nice.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I found one that says run.
That's straightforward.
It's super appropriate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sew that onto my running hat.
Reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue with that.
Yep. I feel like last pre-show, I was going to tell you about this appointment I had with my nutritionist, but I think we run out of time for that. We should just get into the regular show.
Welcome back to the Camera Gear Podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're here today to talk about the gear, software, and techniques we use to shoot photos and video.
Boop, boop. Do you remember a few weeks ago I was complaining about my video workflow?
I do remember that. We were saying there's basically nothing like Lightroom or whatever for video.
Right. I sent you a thing that was named after your watch.
Yep. Like Xeric or something.
And I can't remember what it was called. Do you remember what it was called?
Well, the company was called Xeric, Xeric. I don't remember what the software was called, but I bet if you searched that, you would find the software.
XericDesign.com. Yeah, so I found this software called Xeric Design, I guess. Software's called Cinematica. And
it's this pretty cool name, honestly.
Yeah, and it's this Mac app that is like a video management tool, and there's the current version of Cinematica 3, And it looks like they haven't.
Sounds like a movie for sure.
Right? And it doesn't seem like they've updated it anytime recently. And it works with starting at Mac 10.14 or newer.
Well, that's pretty recent.
And you can buy a single user license for $40. And I have not bought it, but it seems that you can navigate a folder structure and see all of your videos and play them back and organize them in almost like an iTunes style media browser, or maybe similar to like Adobe Bridge in kind of a similar way. But it seems like you can do some organization as far as managing the files and adding tags and that sort of thing. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of sounds like it has some promise.
But the big problem here, Daniel, is that I'm an iPad guy.
You are an iPad guy.
Big iPad guy.
Yep. I don't think your solution's going to work for you unless it also works on the iPad.
Yep. So I did try. What I realized that I had not been running Plex, even though I thought I was running Plex. I installed it on the Synology, and then I pointed it at my media library, and then I never finished setting it up. And so I had to finish setting up Plex, and then I tried using Plex for management, and it just isn't quite the right tool. It's so geared toward TV shows and movies.
Yeah, and it feels to me like it's very geared toward like consuming media rather than organizing media.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So I'm trying out this other application called MB. EMBY, which is something that people switch to whenever Synology stopped supporting Video Station.
Yeah. People used to use Video Station kind of as a Synology version of Plex, sort of. And yeah,
people were super mad about that, and they stopped supporting Video Station. And so there's MB, and then there's another one that is like a fork of MB, and I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Probably GB.
Jellyfin.
Oh, yeah. I thought Jellyfin was similar to Plex. I've heard of that one.
So it's, I think it's MB, and then Jellyfin is a fork of MB.
I see. Okay.
And I think Jellyfin is open source? Question mark?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know if MB is open source.
Yep.
I currently I can't like pull this up and look at it and tell you while I'm looking at my MB stuff, because I currently have it like closed off in my network. I don't have it publicly pointed because I haven't broken out.
Mysterious.
I haven't broken all my videos out into a separate share,
and
I have to give it access to like my one share that has everything in it.
Sure.
And I need to like make a separate share that's only for video, and then I'll open up that port or whatever.
Yeah,
I just don't want to like create a hole in the network until I understand how this all works.
Reasonable.
Point is, I haven't changed any of the file structure. It's all just still the same garbage. But MB, very much like Plex, will let you stream your videos. But you can go within MB, you can view and sort by a bunch. There's like more filters to kind of like filter out your videos, and it will it'll create like embedded images for you, or you can like set your own images for like the preview of the file. It hasn't quite finished filling those in, so I don't know how successful that part of it is, where it gives you like the preview. I may need to tweak some of those settings, or it's just taking a year and a half to actually go through and like create all the previews. But you can rename files, you can add metadata to files, and so I can add like people within it as like actors or participants or cast or however you want to call it. And so I can tag individuals within the videos, and I can give them like pictures. I can go upload a picture of the people that I know that I want to tag, so that I can then create like playlists and sort by the people that I've tagged in their own videos. I can rename the files from the MB interface on my iPad, which will then rename them on the server.
Well, this is getting to one of my questions, which is like, how is it storing this information, and is it actually manipulating the files?
I think it's actually manipulating the files on the server, and I think it's saving the metadata within the file. And
you think it's like
in other
some
cases,
standard format that other programs could read?
So I haven't gone back and looked to see on the Synology if it's creating like a sidecar file or if it's embedding it. I think when it's embedding the information within the container of the MP4 or MOV.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could think about it either way, but I always have a hard time trusting that these applications are going to stay around and keep getting updated. So I feel like generally I'm more in favor of it outputting like all of its metadata in some format that theoretically something else could consume in the future.
Yeah, I think that as far as I understand it now, it is storing all this information within the file and folder structure, and
Nice.
it's not like some separate MB data, whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe TBD, I should probably like do a little more double checking. But thus far, it seems like if I use the web app, I can go through and stream all my files and see them all and like change the names, but then also the embedded title and add embedded descriptions into the metadata and like do all of that like renaming and sorting and moving through this other interface to then like interface into my library.
Cool.
And then if I pay the monthly subscription or the yearly subscription, I can use the applications for like iPad or like, I guess Chromecast or whatever to then be able to stream those videos separately and like download them. But right now, I guess it's free if I use it through the web interface. But it feels like MB has way more tools than Plex does for organizing a personal media library.
Interesting.
Yeah. So kind of happy so far with how that's going. I haven't spent too much time dealing with it, but thus far this feels the most similar to what I was looking for, which is not having to upload all my videos to something like Google Photos or Lightroom to be able to have access to them everywhere, but then also still have something that can like manage that media library in a reasonable way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, and I mean, I'm thinking about like all the videos we film like for work stuff. I could see something like this being handy where you tag it and all that, and then you can use this interface to help you find what you want. And then, you know, I'm sure there's some way you can like get the file name or whatever to where you can go get the actual source to pull into a new project.
Yeah. And I would expect that there's probably a way that one could share this. Like if I set up this, I can have two separate, you know, share locations and create a second library that's for
I have like a work.
This is work B-roll and this is personal. And then when someone's like, hey, do you have these video files? I don't have to deal with like Google Drive or uploading or whatever.
Sure.
I can just say like, here's this folder on my MB and like give them a share or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And so I think that this is going to be pretty cool. I just need to spend some time setting it up and checking settings and like really digging into it, see if it's the right tool, and then I'll start paying for it so I can get the most out of it. But
nice.
So far, this feels the closest to what I was potentially looking for, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. So I'm glad something exists.
Yeah, I'm glad something exists too, Daniel.
Just in general, I'm just glad things exist.
Yeah.
You
know what?
This podcast would be really boring if they didn't.
Yes, me too. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Indeed.
Existing better than not sometimes. What else is on here, Daniel?
Well, Insta360 came out with a new camera. And I think on this podcast, we've talked about the Insta360 Go in the past, and I own the Go 3, and now they have an Insta360 Go Ultra.
They sure do.
Yeah.
They sure do, Daniel. They have that. What's the deal with this thing?
I really enjoy the marketing for this.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff on here.
Oh, man.
All you really need to know, I mean, just get your virtual checkbooks out now. All you need to know is that it has 50 times the AI computing power.
Stop it. What's it doing with all that computing power?
It's a real number.
Did the other one even have AI computing power?
It did, yeah, but not 50. You know, it had 50 times less.
50 times less.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean, like
remarkable.
infinitesimally small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so this is a slightly larger version of the Insta360 Go. And I mean, I think like the main way to think about it is that it has a bigger sensor. The whole thing is bigger than the old one was, but seems like you get quite a bit for that. Like the sensor is substantially larger than the old one.
Well,
and
take
the
a
battery
whole
life and stuff is better too.
One giant step back.
Okay.
The Insta360 Go it's taken a different form in every generation.
Yeah.
This is the fourth iteration of the Insta360 Go. The first of which was like a pill-shaped pod.
Yeah.
And it had a similarly shaped case. And then you would take it out of the case and you could use the case. You could take it in or out of the case, use the case as a stand, but it was this little pill-shaped pod that shot super wide video.
Yeah.
And you could like put it in places where you couldn't put a normal camera. And they did 2 iterations of that. And then when it came out with the 3, the pod that it fit in looked like a GoPro with a flippy screen.
Mm-hmm. But you could still remove the camera from that pod.
So you could remove the camera from the pod, and then you could wirelessly monitor the video, and it was
super cool,
incredible. And I was just massively impressed. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I 1000% need one of these. And so you bought one.
as often happens. Yes.
And now it's just at my house.
Yep.
And I still have not used it since January.
Yep.
And you haven't needed to use it. And
That's
so it's
right.
just sitting at my house.
It's there if we need it, but we haven't needed it.
Yep. So that's going really well so far.
Yes.
Definitely getting all of the cool use out of that I thought we would.
We used it a couple times for music videos and stuff.
Yeah, we have. And it's still really cool. But I think that maybe the main drawback of the Insta360 Go 3 was really just image quality.
You think so?
I think it was perfectly acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
But, kind of maybe not as good in low light and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And so, as you were mentioning with the Ultra, this is like an upgraded across the board version. It's like almost twice as wide as the other one, so it's more of like a rectangle instead of a pill.
You mean when you say twice as wide, you mean physical size?
Physical size of the pod.
And I think we should say like the form factor, like it is bigger, but it looks like just a bigger version of the 3.
Mm-hmm. But it seems like they've done more with it as far as mountability. And it's bigger, like you said, because the sensor is substantially bigger. It's still like a 1/.
It's right now. It's on the new one. It's a 1/1.2.
Okay.
And the old one was like 1/2.8.
Okay.
So it's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger.
Like it's almost a 1-inch sensor now.
Yeah.
Whereas it was a lot smaller than that before. So I think they probably made a pretty big step up with that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good improvement. And you can tell, like in low light and the images coming off of this thing, there is a pretty big improvement. And they've added some additional features within like the software that, bolster that low light capability. And so like it still is kind of maybe smoothing a little bit, but you can shoot better low light images, but then you can turn on this whatever pure video mode or whatever it's called, and then get even better low light images. And so I think that makes it a lot more useful in more situations. And then they just upped all the recording capabilities. So we can do 4K 60 now, whereas the other one couldn't. It capped out at 4K 30, and it just seems substantially better.
Yeah, 50 times the AI power.
Right.
Just to remind you that spec is there. The battery life's a lot better. So you get with the pod only you get 70 minutes versus 38.
Wow.
And if you have it in the pod, you get 200 instead of 140. But maybe the more meaningful thing is the fast charge. So you can go from 0 to 80% on just the camera in 12 minutes. Or 18 minutes with the pod, and that's a lot fast. Like that, the one with the pod is like more than twice as fast as the Go 3. So like you can't change the battery on this thing, so it's nice that it charges that quickly.
Yeah, that's super, super handy. I think maybe two more things to touch on before I kind of run through some questions for you on this. They took away the internal storage to make room, and they put a micro SD card on this thing.
Yeah, like I think that's in the camera, like not the pod. As far as like,
you think the macro SD card is in the?
I think it's in the little camera.
Well, so does it? Is it just streaming to record? How's that work? How's that work, Daniel?
What do you mean?
Explain yourself.
What do you mean when you say is it just streaming to record?
Well, like I don't think the pod has internal storage. I think that the SD card is in the pod.
Like, well, when you say pod, what are you referring to?
The part that comes on the part with the camera,
the sensor.
with the sensor.
No, we're on the same page.
Okay,
that is not what they call the pod.
Oh, the pod is the thing.
The pod is the receiver. Like, yeah.
I hate these words.
Yep.
Okay.
No, so yeah, the storage is in the smaller of the two devices.
Right, but now it's an SD card.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that the refresh rate on the screen whenever you're doing the remote video is like twice as fast.
Yeah, that's a good improvement.
Yeah, it's not bad for what the other one was. I mean, it was so cool to have wireless video on something so small, but this one's even better. So that's really, really cool. And I think it's like $450 or something, depending upon which package you get. You can get a bunch of different like creator combos and blah blah blah. And I think the most expensive version is like $534 and the
Yep.
cheapest is like $450 or something, depending on what you get.
But what do you think about the Ring remote?
Oh, that thing.
forgot
We're
about
like,
that,
no,
didn't you?
yes, I totally forgot about that thing, Daniel. I don't know what I think about it because I saw somebody showing it off. Hey, check out this Ring remote thing, and then they kind of just moved on, and I needed maybe 20 more minutes on someone explaining to me what the heck this Ring remote is. It just a start stop recorder?
I mean, yeah, basically. Like, I'm sure you can long press it and do something different, but yeah, it's like it's a remote for the camera.
So if you're like wearing it on your hat, you can just
Yeah.
thumb your finger on the ring and
Yep. You can also, rather than putting it on your finger, put it on something like a bike handlebar.
yeah, I was thinking about it for a second. Yeah, I guess if you just had it on your bike and you wanted to hit record real quick, could be handy to have that on your finger.
Yeah, and they show that in the marketing material. So, pretty cool.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
They do a really good job with these products on giving you examples of like how they can fit into your life, and they have a lot of accessories that you can use to mount it.
Yep.
I saw one which GoPro's done this too. That's like a harness basically where you can put it on like a dog. They have something, I don't understand how this works, but they have something called the Toddler Titan kit. So they've got something that's made for like putting on your kid to record that. Kind of cool.
Sure.
Obviously stuff like putting it on a bike, waterproof case to use it underwater. I mean, kind of all the normal things you'd expect. But I mean, a camera like this obviously you can do things with it that you can't do with normal cameras. And that's kind of the whole appeal. So they really have leaned into that with all these accessories.
I really need to mount your Go 3 to my bike.
Yeah,
and
you do.
Get some footage with that. I've been meaning to do it. You found the clip on, and I just haven't connected it to my bike yet.
Yep.
It just seemed like it would be super fun to do that, and maybe I'll find that that's my speed. I don't know.
It could be your speed.
I don't know what I would do with all this bike video.
What is this quick release safety cord? I guess, is it just a lanyard? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's worth talking about, right? You have this one of the interesting things they did with this thing is similar to like the little tabs that you have for Peak Design stuff, like the little eyelets, and then your strap connects to it. The camera has one of those on it, so you can like basically hold the whole assembly by a strap. But then if you pull on it in the right angle, you can pull the camera out of the case. But it's like the magnets that hold the camera in the pod are strong enough that you can kind of like just like wrist strap it if you need to.
Cool.
And then you can kind of use that to suspend or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah. It also supports Apple Find My. It's kind of neat.
Wait, it does?
Yeah. Got that built in.
Just built in?
Yep.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
a nice touch.
Yeah. All this stuff, it seems like they've taken this product line in a lot of directions. Like, we mentioned the form factors changed a lot over time. But this one really does look to me like it's kind of a refinement of the Go 3 and 3S series. And so it seems like they're learning what works. They're learning what people do with it. And everything here seems like it's just a little bit better than the last one.
Would you get this in black or white?
Hard to say. I got the last one in white. It's like when I think about this product in my head, it's white, but the black one would probably be less obtrusive, like if you had it on a bike or something. So,
I mean, you want this to be not very discreet.
You want it to be super discreet.
Wait, you want to be very discreet?
Yeah. I think black probably.
In the Iron Man rules, you're not allowed to put a camera on your bike and record during the race.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very exclusive club there. They don't want people seeing what's going on.
The actual sanctioned Iron Man races are super strict.
Huh? It's weird.
There's requirements about where you can how many water bottle holders you can have and where they can be and all this stuff.
Well, so I guess you probably, if you want to be a rule follower, you won't be able to put a camera on your bike.
I just don't want to get DQ'd, man.
Yeah, that's all you care about. Not getting DQ'd.
It's and I don't mean Dairy Queen. If they want to Dairy Queen me,
yeah, all about that.
Sure. Yep. I'll get a Blizzard or something. That sounds like a good time. Disqualified? No, thank you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So do you think that this has more promise than the last 3 iterations? Do you think that the Ultra is the Ultra version of the Insta360 Go, or do you think that they're missing a mark by making it larger Are they kind of deviating from what this originally was?
I think for most uses, this is not larger enough to be a problem. The only thing I can think of that it is actually a problem for is something like putting on an FPV drone, which isn't as common anymore because there's other options for that now. But
right, you just get one of those naked GoPros and put those on the drone.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of other choices now that people use more than they used to. So I think that's the only thing where the size would really be a problem. But I mean, for other stuff, like, there's all kinds of things in this marketing material where they're showing people with it, on a hat or using the pendant thing, on their chest. And it still seems like it's pretty small. It doesn't seem like an issue. And it just seems like in every other way that added size has let them do good things here with the bigger sensor, more battery life and stuff. I feel like this solves a lot of the problems I had with the last one, like the internal storage and just generally the battery life. So, I mean, to me, it makes it a more compelling version of the product. I think it's a good upgrade.
It is more expensive, right? By like $100.
I think so. Yeah, I think I paid about $325 or $350 for mine. So this is about $100 more, but it's right in line with the price of a GoPro. And I think that's probably like the comparison to think of is, you can basically do with this what you would do with another action camera. I mean, it has different trade-offs, but like it seems like it's kind of competitive in that line of things.
The current GoPro is a 1/1.9 inch sensor, I believe. So still a smaller sensor than the current GoPro.
No, that would be a bigger sensor, wouldn't it? Oh, 1/1.1.
1.9 compared to 1/1.28.
Yeah, okay.
So slightly smaller still. So interesting comparison to like a Hero 13.
Yeah.
But also
that's
very,
a pretty close
very
sensor size,
different
though.
trade-off.
Yeah. I would think the stuff like the field of view would be a more meaningful difference between the two, because this one I think is made for like ultra wide type stuff and the GoPro's not.
The current one is the Hero 13, right?
I do believe that's right.
Yeah. Which is cheaper. You can get a Hero 13 Black for less money.
All that GoPro stuff is always going on sale.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like $100 off right now. I guess because the Hero 14 is probably right about to come out. It's just a totally different trade-off. It's a completely different thing.
The thing I think is coolest about this product is being able to detach the pod and have that screen for remote monitoring. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it makes it a pretty interesting product just because of that. Doesn't Insta360 sell cameras that are like I always think of like the Osmo camera, the one like the action cam that's equivalent to the GoPro, but Insta360, do they have that one? It's like the 1RS or whatever.
The 1R. Yeah.
1R.
And then they of course have their Insta360 X. I don't remember what version they're on, but they have like a normal 360 camera type thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The 1R has changeable sensors, so I think you can do like a 360 sensor or a 1-inch sensor or whatever.
The Ace Pro, so they have a few things that are kind of
I forgot about the Ace Pro. Yeah, the Ace Pro is very GoPro-like.
Yeah, for sure. They have so much stuff, Daniel.
They do.
Also, they're having a sale right now. Sorry, I'm on now all of a sudden just looking at their website.
Anyways, a sale.
Okay, so should this be a photo camera? It has a quad bare sensor in it. You can shoot 50 megapixel photos.
I have such a hard time with that. I know that people do that with GoPros. When I think of a camera like this, I am never thinking about taking a photo with it. I feel like the wide angle, even regardless of the megapixels, the super wide angle sensor, I'm like, just take a video. Like that's what it's for. Take a video.
I think it has a smaller sensor than the iPhone 16 Pro. Is that right? 1/1.14? Is that true? Man, the sensor on my camera is so big.
Just imagine the 17 Pro.
That's right around the corner.
It is right around 2 weeks.
Are they going to do the thin one?
I think they are.
Do you think that that's actually just going to be a precursor to the folding iPhone? And do you think they're making a folding iPhone?
I do think they're making a folding iPhone. I don't know if the thin one is or not. I think they're trying to hit different markets with the thin one that they're not currently hitting.
Would you buy the thin one?
No.
Would you buy the Orange Pro?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am actually like, maybe I should sell my phone and buy a 17 if it's orange. That's how important orange is to me.
I will probably end up upgrading my phone this year.
Get the orange one. Please get the orange
I will
one.
get the orange one.
Yes.
Yep.
It's going to be
I'm not
worth
interested
it.
in the trade-off of the thin one. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't feel like the size of mine is that big of a problem.
Well, thus far, Ryan London is the only leather case maker that I'm aware of that has a capture button that has the actual sapphire on the button.
Huh.
So,
Good to know.
FYI.
Yeah. I use a leather back.
Oh, that's right. I do have one of those.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you don't think that people should use this as a photo camera, even though it can take 50 megapixel photos?
No,
Maybe,
not really.
Maybe just like use your phone.
I would use, I mean, if you have a recent phone, I would use your phone instead.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I just don't think there's any reason to take a photo. Like just keep it in video mode and then you get like 60 of those a second. Not at 50 megapixels.
I was about to say, that's like a 3 megapixel photo,
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
No. My cousin does that.
Just film everything.
Yeah, he's like, why would I take photos if I can just like shoot video? And he just shoots video all the time and then like pulls screenshots and or like pulls images out of it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but don't do like if you want a picture, take a picture. And I tried to explain to him resolution.
Yep.
He didn't want anything to do with it.
I mean, people can do whatever they want with the stuff they get. If this is the only camera you have, then sure. But I think you can do more interesting things with this than take photos. Let me put it that way.
I think you should take a 50 megapixel photo and print that thing 34 by 26. Full, just print it all the way out.
I guess that
on canvas.
Print it all the way out.
All right. What do you think about the strap thing?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I just don't think it's that like innovative. It's like cool. You guys put a wrist strap on it. I mean, convince me. Why is it? What makes it cool?
Wrist straps are the essence of a consumer electronics, and if it doesn't have a wrist strap on it, I don't want it. I remember whenever my Samsung flip phone used to have a wrist strap.
Oh man,
and I was
good old days.
Disappointed when I had phones that didn't have wrist straps because it makes it super easy to fish it out of your pocket. You don't even have to have it on your wrist.
Yeah,
but
true.
Also, flip phones with the wrist strap, whenever the wrist strap is connected right where the hinge is, you could open up the phone and you could spin it around and try to see like how close you could get it to closing without it snapping shut. It was like a game.
I don't know about that. I don't think I ever lived that life. It's a new one.
Well, you missed out. Okay. Is the pod shape better or worse?
Well, it's about the same as the previous one. Like you just mean
okay,
the
sorry,
fact
not
that
the pod, the camera.
You just mean that it's rectangle instead of
it's
more of a rectangle.
Yeah, it's like a squircle instead of a pill.
I mean, that kind of comes back to the size thing. I think it's probably fine. I don't really have a problem with it, I guess. It may be a little bit easier to hold. Maybe that's useful. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of indifferent about it.
Indifferent.
What do you think?
I think that the selling point of this product for every other iteration was how small it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the pod is substantially worse in size, but I'm trying to find here on the spec comparison page just how physically heavier it is compared to the other one. And I'm not necessarily finding it, but the standalone is 52.9 grams. So it's still like fairly lightweight, but I don't know, any additional weight on if you're trying to get like the smallest camera possible, which was the original selling point of this was this is so stinking small you can like shove it in your mouth or whatever. And any size increase on that is maybe a little bit of a bummer. I think I agree with the choice to sacrifice size for image quality in this case, but I think that for some people that's not going to be the right trade-off.
So previously they had the Go 3 and the Go 3S. This one is branded as the Go Ultra.
Right. It doesn't.
Do you think it's telling that it's not the Go 4?
Yes, I do. I think that it is maybe not necessarily supplanting the Go 3S, which is now $320 on their website on sale. Maybe they come out with a Go 4, but these product lines are always just so confusing.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be adding products instead of replacing products, and their lines just keep ballooning, and companies like Insta360 or DJI just seem to be extra terrible about.
Yeah.
Like how many versions of every product
Yeah.
and all this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
So,
sort of inconclusive, I think. Like this could just be how they're branding the line now, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe this is the Ultra version, but they're going to, eventually come out with a Go 4 that's the original form factor and has the same.
did they have a 3 and a 3S?
Yes.
What was the 3?
The 3 is the one I have.
What's the 3S?
The S had some improvements. I don't remember what all they did, but it was just kind of like minor improvements to video quality or frame rates or something.
Yeah. So like, do they come out with this one and then the next one's the Insta360 Go Ultra S, or is it the? Well, I mean the 3S was technically the 4th. So is this the 5th? So is the next one the Insta360 Go 6?
Who knows, man?
Or maybe they'll call it like
I think
Go V.
My guess is that this exists outside of the numbered lineup. This is like a separate like sub line within it.
That's all just very confusing.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think about the sticky tabs?
So what's the deal with that? Is it is it basically like a magnetic sticker?
Pretty much. You like have a sticker with a metal plate or something behind metal plate. Well, the magnet's in the camera.
Yeah.
And so it's essentially a sticker with metal behind it, and you can just stick that thing to whatever you want, and then you can magnetize the camera to the sticker.
I mean, this says try it on thick outdoor clothing.
Yeah, you just stick it to whatever you want. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's an innovative way to allow additional mounting solutions.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing with this camera is in what kinds of cool things can you put it on? Like
you could probably put it on a basketball, stick the camera to the ball, and toss it through the hoop.
You think so?
I don't know.
Be pretty neat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was a good idea. I like it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the switch to SD card?
Really big fan of that. I know, like when we've done music video type stuff, kind of have this thought in the back of your head that you have a limited amount of recording capacity, and once you hit that, you're going to have to take time to like offload the footage or whatever. Much happier with having a card that you can just swap out and remove.
Unclear if it impacts the waterproofing.
Yeah, that is unclear.
I don't love the idea of it having. I liked that the other one was just fixed. It was solid all the way around. There was nothing to open, and I felt more confident about the waterproofing. This gives me pause.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily love it. I kind of would prefer the pod to have the SD card. Maybe you could offload to the SD card in the pod quickly or something. I don't know. Yeah. And then I wrote down here it's 14 grams between this versus the old one.
Okay. So and the total weight's like 50. So
yeah,
14 is that's substantial. That's probably like 25% increase.
I don't know if I could pick 14 grams out of a lineup.
Yeah, maybe not. It depends. It really depends on what you're doing. Like for the drone use case, that matters, but not if you have it, like on your hat, you're probably not really going to be able to tell.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I mean,
I think it's pretty cool.
That's it, right? That's the Insta360 Go Ultra. Good release. Cool toy.
Yep.
If you hadn't purchased the Go 3, I would be like super, super interested in this because of what this product line is. But now having been in the possession of your Go 3 for nearly 8 months at this point and having still not really spent any time using it, I now realize that I'm just not an action cam person.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. I think if this had been available when I was buying the Go 3, I mean, the price would have been a factor because, this is quite a bit more expensive than the other one. But I think I would have wanted this one over the other one. It does. I do feel like it gives you like $100 more of value over the other one.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. I mean, I for some reason just have the Osmo Pocket with me now all the time. Yeah. I just have it in my bag.
Yeah,
I'm recording right now.
It's just part of your life.
Yeah, versus it's just at home on my desk, and that's just where it lives.
Yeah,
and I never thought that I would be more of an Osmo Pocket person. Than an Insta360 Go person. It's just
I mean, but it's interesting because like even though there's so many different action cameras in these, in this market, GoPro, Insta360, DJI, all these companies make things. They all have different uses, and the types of things that an Osmo Pocket is good for are different than what this is good for, and that's different than what a GoPro is good for. And it's kind of interesting, like trying to think through which of these fits what I want most out of that type of camera, because that answer is going to be different for everybody.
The action cam mode and the steady shot stuff on the iPhone has gotten like really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another option. Use your phone.
I feel like it's still not quite the same or as simple as like, here's a drone sensor on a gimbal. And boy, it sure is nice to like, I'm just going to get some gimbally shots right now. And it's going to be so stable.
Yeah. Well, and you pulled that out just now. And that was the first time I've seen it in person, actually.
Really? No.
That I think would be like, let's say you're in a public place, like walking through a crowd, like you want to get some cool shots at, like while you're like at the mall or whatever, like you're doing like street photography with your drone gimbal. I feel like this is going to be so much less obtrusive. Like people aren't going to notice if you're just walking around with this thing.
Yep.
Whereas, with like your phone, people are going to see like, oh, that person's walking around with their phone.
Yep.
Maybe they care, maybe they don't care, because I mean, we've all kind of gotten more used to that sort of thing. But, I mean, I think it's a pretty big advantage that this, is as small as it is.
The
And that's
Osmo.
one thing. Yeah, the Osmo. Yeah. And that's one thing it can do that the phone can't.
Right. And maybe a similar argument for something like an Insta360 Go Ultra, where you can go places where maybe your phone can't, or it has less of the cachet of, oh, someone has their phone out and they're holding it and like it's super obvious they're taking photo or video. For something like the Osmo Pocket, it was cool to be able to, put it on the wrist strap and I could like hold it over the edge of a boat and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And versus not necessarily would want to do that with my phone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was gonna say I think that's the biggest difference with the phone aspect is, if you have like, let's say a recent iPhone, you already have a great action camera in terms of the footage you can get, but I feel like the situations where people want to use those, you're not going to want to do with your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to clip your phone to your helmet while you're snowboarding down a mountain. I mean, maybe some people would. I would personally not do that.
Yeah,
with my phone.
probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's scoot along, Dan.
All right.
I think this is pretty cool, but there's more things to talk about.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment, but we wanted to let you know that if you'd like to support the show, you can now subscribe to us on Patreon. It helps cover our hosting costs so we can keep the show running, and you might find an occasional behind-the-scenes post on there, like some photos we've taken recently or a mini review of some new gear. If you're interested, you can find us at patreon.com/cameragearpodcast.
Daniel, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip over this lens topic, and we're just going to keep talking about Insta360.
This is just the big Insta360 show.
It makes sense, because next week I want to talk about that 200mm f2 Sigma lens, and we can talk about 12mm at the same time. It all just makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless this just doesn't go for like 45 minutes, which Daniel is
this is going to go for 45 minutes.
I want to read a few taglines from the promo video to you.
Okay.
We're talking about the Insta360 drone, which is called the Antigravity A1.
Yeah. By the way, super interesting that they're not branding it Insta360.
Antigravity A1. Not just a drone, a revolution in flight. Fly one way while looking another. Your will is its flight path.
It does not sound safe to fly one way while looking another.
It's not piloting. It's flying.
Oh my gosh.
That's all.
Yeah. That sounds like a marketing video, all right.
It was a lot to watch.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I don't know, man. Like,
so do you want to talk? Let's talk about what it is, though.
Well, it's like those super self-important like Apple videos where they're like, we started with one block of aluminium, pulled from the ground. Anyways, it's like that level of just intensity.
Yes.
That this is going to end world hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It's a revolution, and no.
It's unique, but it's still just a drone.
It's just a drone.
Yep.
It's just a drone. It is the world's first 360 drone, according to the marketing material.
Well, so we've talked about this in the past. For the Insta360 One X, which is their 360 camera, I think you could get some type of mount for like a Mavic.
Right, or it was the Avata or something, right? Where you can mount it to the FPV drone or something.
Yeah, one of them you could. This is, obviously it's like a product, so it has that built in. But we've talked about that before, about how cool it would be to have a 360 drone.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would almost say that it's a revolution in flight.
Would you really say that?
No. No, I wouldn't. So this is, I'm going to just jump to the end here. Supposedly coming out January 2026. This is a hype video, product page, announcement. We have to talk about the co-creation project.
Yes.
Because
we also need to talk about the just the way it is, and like the goggles and controller and all that.
Is this vaporware?
I really don't think it is. It's from Insta360. They have like ones that people have flown, so it does exist. I feel like if it was not a company like Insta360 that makes real products, I would think it was vaporware, but I think it'll actually come out.
Okay. So give me like an overview of this thing, and then I have like 1,000 questions.
Well, there's it's a little light on details, but I mean basically it is like a Mavic, but it has a 360 camera, so it can see in any direction without getting the drone in the shot.
Do you think it's going to have the weird stitching effect of other 360 cameras?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how much they can totally get rid of that. I mean, hopefully it has 50 times the AI power like the Go 4 does. But
being that this is the first version of it, it would have infinity or 0 times.
Yes, infinite AI power.
They
put that in the marketing video?
If you're starting with none, the limit would approach 0, right? Or would it be infinity? Mathematically speaking,
it's like undefined, I guess, because you're dividing something by 0.
Well, you're multiplying. It has to be 0, right? Anyways,
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's basically an FPV drone with a 360 camera. So you have goggles that you wear, you have a controller that you use, which we're going to talk way more about. And you can fly around, but since it's a 360 camera, you can kind of look around in different directions than where the drone is flying, which is different from FPV, and a little bit different than a Mavic. Like with a Mavic, you can kind of look up and down, but you're always looking straight, like whichever direction the drone is flying in. And with this, you can see in any direction. I mean, that's clearly the main benefit of it. They also, showed off that like you can film something with it and then you can reframe it later. So if you're trying to film like shots of a car or something, you don't have to get the framing exactly right as you're filming the car. Like you can just kind of be in the area and then adjust it after the fact. So all the benefits you get from using a 360 camera.
So it seems like in one way, so it's capturing 360 video that you will then be able to do whatever you want with as sort of traditional 360 video. And you can do that within their app, which is pretty decent. Or, I mean, you can Resolve supports 360 video and like Final Compress. So you could do it like in your NLE, you could deal with the video and like do all the reframing and everything that you want. 360 video is always a little weird in that it's like, hey, this is 8K 360. The effective revolution, the resolution of that is actually fairly small.
Like once you cut that down to like a 16 by 9 frame.
Yeah, and you pull a 16 by 9 frame. If you don't want wild fish-eyeing, like 360 over 8K is like just okay.
I mean, yeah, I feel like for a 360 camera, 8K is kind of the first resolution we've gotten to where you could maybe use that in like a normal project.
Like you could do a 2K out of it and then upscale it to a 4K timeline and it would probably look just fine.
Yeah, I mean, like for something beyond like a vlog, like if you're doing a more professional thing, like you might be able to get away with 2K.
Right. But so whenever your output is a 360 video, but whenever you're flying this thing, the 360 video is essentially like almost like a VR experience where you put these goggles on and you can just like look around you and see. You can see basically you're within like a 3D environment essentially, and you can just kind of like see whatever you want to see, and then independent of that, the controller is using some sort of like motion control to kind of fly in the direction that you're pointing, which
They've
I guess
been really vague about how that works too.
like it kind of makes sense, I suppose, like as far as an orientation thing, where if I'm imagining just being in a 3D environment and like I point my hand out, I'm like, I'm going this way. Now I'm going this way, and then I'm controlling the camera with my neck.
Yeah.
Maybe that, I mean, like, that seems like it might make sense. If you were trying to do this with joysticks, I do feel like that might get, unless you have a lot of experience with like FPV type flying, that could get a little tricky or confusing.
I actually think the way they did this controller probably really helps with motion sickness with this, because if you have to kind of stick your hand out in front of you to go in a certain direction, then you're for the most part, you're not really going to be like looking behind you while you fly. Cause I feel like that's where it get really, disorienting. I mean, I've done a lot of FPV flying. And I feel like I'm pretty good at avoiding the motion sickness. Like I can stand up and do it, which some people can't do. And when I saw this for the first time, that was my first thought. Was like, how are you going to fly this thing without falling over? Because it seems like it would get really confusing. Like, which way am I flying in? Where am I looking? And it seems like either you're going to fall over or you're going to crash the drone into something and have no idea where you are, which I think are really valid concerns with this thing. But I do kind of think the way they've done that motion controller might help with that by kind of like guiding you. Like it kind of forces you to face your body in the direction you want to fly, which I think would help with this.
I think that makes sense. The controller is just really interesting. I've never seen a one-handed drone controller, and
they made one for the Avata. You can get one for the DJI Avata.
Oh, really?
It's a motion controller.
What do you do with your other hand? Stabilize yourself?
I don't know, like hold your coffee.
Sure,
whatever you want.
Cool. Like this thing has so many buttons and switches. Like it has a trigger, which I guess is maybe throttle.
Well, maybe it takes a photo. Maybe it, centers the camera. Who knows?
The trigger itself looks substantial.
Yeah, it does.
Like it seems like something that you're using to actuate some sort of
like
throttle.
You don't think it's a binary on-off?
No, I think it's an analog throttle. And
like those old RC cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Where it's like you're pointing in the direction, and that's just the go button.
Could be.
And then, or it could be, like thrust or throttle or whatever. And then there's like a few, basically everything else is a toggle switch. There's like one scroll wheel, there's this imposing red button, there's a switch on the side, and a handful of other buttons. And
I will say the controller looks pretty sweet.
It looks like a pretty cool controller. I'm really curious to see how this ultimately works, but I don't know. What do you think about I put a photo here in the show notes, and I just wrote LOL, and it's this picture of this woman wearing the goggles, and they just look like steampunk bug eye goggles.
It looks like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah, and she's just like smiling aggressively.
Yep.
And it is the funniest thing to me.
Well, so what I think is really weird about the goggles is goggles are not new for FPV. Like most people flying FPV are using goggles. You can get them for DJI drones. Makes perfect sense for the immersive aspect. What's weird about these is that one of the eyes has a screen on the outside of the goggle.
Yeah, so that people can see what you're flying at by staring at your stupid face.
Yeah. Like totally on board with the idea of having a secondary display.
Yep.
I think that's really cool. But I guess when I think about it, it's like, well, where do you put it? But it just looks really weird that it's on the front. I don't like it.
What if Apple took this and did it with the Vision Pro? Like stop doing that weird whatever on the front and it just turned it into a second display so they can see what you're saying.
I mean, there are cases where it makes sense, but it's a really weird social construct to imagine like standing close, because this isn't that big, like the screen is like, I mean, it's bigger than the person's eye, but it's smaller than their head.
Yeah, it's like big as some trendy sunglasses.
You're going to have to get right in there if you want to see what's going on. Like that, like the person
and they're
flying,
not going to know you're there until
the person flying it is going to,
them.
they're going to feel your breath. And it's just, it's like, it seems like it would be weirdly intimate and I don't like it.
I mean, maybe they'll feel like it's the wind because they're not piloting a drone, Daniel. They're flying.
Yeah. Well, what do you think it shows? Do you think it shows what's in front or do you think it shows what's behind the drone?
I mean, I assume it shows what they're looking at.
Yeah, probably so.
Who knows?
It's very weird.
I don't know, man. Okay,
I'm
so
curious if that decision's going to have proven to be valid or not.
we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Okay, does something like this finally make the Vision Pro cool?
Are
Like
you
if you can,
are you meaning because you could record something that you could play back in the Vision Pro?
yeah, like you can drop it in as like a 3D environment.
I mean, I do think that's one thing the Vision Pro really needs is more 360 content. And from that perspective, I think this existing is really cool. Like we've seen what Canon makes a lens that can shoot 360. Blackmagic came out with the Ursa Cine immersive that can film this type of stuff. Those are really expensive cameras, and you're not going to really see that stuff being used outside of like productions. And this is cool because this is something you could imagine like your favorite YouTube creator using, and maybe there's a way they could release like some experience that you could look at in the Vision Pro. So I don't know if I'd say it makes it cool, but I think it could make the Vision Pro more compelling.
Do you think that they're going to give you some way to edit your footage using the goggles? Like using it as some sort of monitor so that whenever you're connected to your phone, you can play back the footage.
Oh, I could definitely see that. Like you look around at the goggles and it records those motions.
Yeah, exactly.
I could
you
definitely
use the
see
controller to basically keyframe your 360 video and then feed it back to your phone. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
it would be great.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I mean that wouldn't be for like a Vision Pro.
Daniel,
situation.
we need to stop telling people this because there's this co-creator project, and selected applicants will receive a pre-production unit of the A1 in exchange for testing and evaluating the drone and sending our best ideas and suggestions. And ideas that are adopted in the retail version of the A1 will be rewarded with a slice of the reward pool of $20,000.
And a production version of the drone.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we need to get one of these things, and then we can tell them our idea for footage editing.
You're right.
And we probably make like $20.
Yeah, like $20. Be one of 1,000 ideas they take and use in the that. I do think that program's interesting, and maybe that justifies them, announcing this so far ahead of the release. Like if they're legitimately wanting people to test it and give them feedback.
Do you think they just don't know what to do with this thing?
I don't know.
Like
I think it's to build hype. Like I think that's a lot of it is to get some people using it, build more hype. Like they're trying to break into drones. GoPro did this. GoPro released a drone, and it was basically a huge flop. Like I don't remember why exactly, but it didn't ever really work out.
They were spread too thin. Their actual GoPros suffered because of the focus on the drone and all this stuff.
This is a really good time for Insta360 to be doing this because DJI has all the stuff in question about whether they can even sell in the US. Like, I don't know if you can even buy a Mavic 4 Pro in the US right now.
Yeah.
So, maybe there's an opening for another company, but I think Insta360 has, kind of like they have a lot of ground to make up because DJI has such a strong market position, like a lot of brand recognition that I think Insta360 is really going to have to work hard to convince people to go for it. I think doing a thing like this where they're getting more people using it, and doing that in a way that's more honest rather than just sending it to YouTubers for free, might really help them, kind of like get the word out. So
maybe it's a matter of seeing people use it, getting some content out there, getting some hype built.
I think so.
But then we were talking about this with the 360 Go Ultra, where you go through their website and it shows all these different use cases of how people are using the product. I'm wondering if they kind of know that this is cool and you could probably do stuff with it, but maybe they just don't quite know how best to market it, and they need to see what people's ideas are as far as how you can use this thing.
I think there's a lot to that. We've seen that with a lot of products. We talked earlier in this show about the Insta360 Go, and like now on their site, they have all that stuff. I don't remember what they had for the first one, but it's very clear looking at their marketing now that they have learned a lot about how people use it. The other example that really comes to mind for me is the Apple Watch. So Apple in the first few versions of the watch had all these different things that they thought people were going to do with it. Like there was one where you could like send, it was called like Digital Touch or something, which, what a name. But you could like send like your
3D
heartbeat.
touch.
You could send your heartbeat to like another person with an Apple Watch. And they had so many ideas like that where they thought people were going to want to use that as like this like other like way to connect with their friends or whatever.
Yep.
And then they have clearly learned over the past few years, like people like this for tracking.
Yeah, it's for fitness.
For tracking fitness.
And notifications.
They have really leaned into that.
Yep.
And I think sometimes it takes these companies a few years to see how people are using it and what they want out of it. So maybe Insta360 is kind of trying to speed run that with this program.
Yeah, I mean, it's a drone. Sorry. It's a revolution in flight.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're just gonna use it for drone stuff.
I don't think so. Yeah, this feels a little different though, like in terms of what you would do with it. Like, I mean, my first thought is you kind of need a wide open area to fly it because it seems like it's made for like exploring, you know. And I'm curious, like comparing that side by side with a Mavic, you know, is it going to feel useful for the same things Mavics are? It
seems quite different as far as an experience of piloting in that you're essentially cutting out the drone from what you're looking at. And so it almost seems like you would feel like you're in a flying camera.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but like for instance, you're playing Halo 3 and you're flying a Banshee around but you're doing it like first person view or whatever. You can't really see all of like the legs of the thing that you're flying.
Sure.
And sometimes you crash into stuff because you don't know how big you are.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if people are going to run into things trying to do sick whoops.
Could be. One thing that I thought was really clever about this is, you know, so all the Mavics and stuff have all those sensors, you know, to avoid hitting stuff. And because of how a Mavic works, they have sensors, you know, in the front, but also like on the sides, top and bottom. And I think the pros even have it behind, you know, so you can be going backwards. And that's kind of one of the ways they differentiate cheaper models from more expensive is like, do you have like side or rear sensors?
Yeah.
This one, I think they're like heavily focusing the sensors on the front because since it is a 360 camera, they can just rotate it around and have it always flying forward.
Oh, interesting.
Which I thought was really clever.
Because, I guess that makes sense,
because
right?
They can focus all of that, like whatever money they're putting into sensors, they can just focus it all in one direction because there's no reason this thing needs to fly backwards ever.
Right. It's just going to kind of rotate, and as you turn your head around, it's going to try to track and follow.
Yeah.
Follow your head. I mean, but it is still capturing in 360. Like, I guess that mostly makes sense.
It's basically like whatever direction you're looking in is probably completely decoupled from what direction the drone needs to be facing.
Sure.
Which is not something that is true for almost any other drone.
Right. Which I guess lets your the front of the drone maybe matches the front of the controller. But I still feel like there's got to be a little bit of it's 360 video, but you still don't have necessarily depth perception within that 360 degrees. And so it feels like you don't know, because you can't see the drone. You're like taking the goggles off and seeing the drone, and you can't see the drone from wearing the goggles because it's cutting it out of the image. How do you like know how close you are to something?
I think that's a real concern.
I think that it's going to be really easy to run into stuff with this drone.
I think that could happen. And I think, you know, if you're not flying this in the middle of the wilderness, I think it would be easy to kind of get disoriented on where exactly you are.
Oh, yeah.
And end up flying maybe where you don't want to fly.
Do you feel like it's going to be an out-of-body experience?
I think it's going to be really weird to fly.
Like you put on this thing and then you're flying and you turn around and you're like, there I am.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm astral projecting.
Yeah. Even with an FPV drone, with a regular FPV drone, it is a really weird feeling flying toward yourself and be like, that's me. And also I'm looking at me, and that's strange. But I mean, I really want to fly this thing. I think it'll be an interesting experience, but yeah, I feel like people are going to fall over. People are going to get sick. People are going to hit things with it. It's going to be very chaotic.
Man, it's just so, it's just a 360 drone. Like, okay, cool, whatever. But like what they're doing here and how they're promoting it, I mean, this is really interesting. Like it is, I think there is something here. And we've talked quite a bit about drones are just boring and utilitarian. And like we kind of, like, I mean, for the work that we do, we need a drone. Yeah. And like we shoot drone stuff. I'm just not excited about drones anymore. Like I was so excited about drones, and now it's just kind of like whatever a little bit. This I think is maybe legitimately interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it could be cool. Even just that experience feeling of, either flying it around and getting to see those things, or kind of like creating an experience for someone else. Like, surely they're going to have a mode here where you can do a flight and then later like play that back through the goggles and let somebody else, kind of like look around, during the flight. Like, surely you're going to be able to do that. And that could be cool too. Like, hey, I went on this trip to this really cool place and I flew this around and now I'm back home. And I can kind of share that experience with the people back home, like by letting them wear the goggles. Like I think there's some cool ideas there.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. And critically, 249 grams is the target for this thing, so that you can basically treat it like a Mini 4, which means it's going to be a fairly small drone.
Yeah.
But also it kind of gets you under the line for requiring like an FAA license for flying in the U.S. and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think there's some places that just don't allow things heavier than that. So, maybe you can fly it in more places because of that.
Yeah, so it seems like they're making a lot of the strategic decisions that they need to make, though I am just super curious to see how this actually plays out.
And there's still a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know what the range will be. We don't know what the battery life will be, flight time. They probably don't know yet either. They're probably still working on it. But, I would assume it wouldn't be like substantially worse than DJI. I think you could look at like a Mini 4 and think, it'll probably be in this realm.
I don't think this is shipping in January.
Probably.
I don't
not.
think they can go through this whole program, get all the ideas, integrate them, and then ship in January.
Yeah, unlikely. I think they'd
have to be making them now.
I think the idea portion of this is basically during September. That's what it sounded like. But yeah, I doubt that's enough time, unless it's all software stuff.
I guess we'll find out.
I feel like I definitely need to apply for this program because
do it.
As it turns out, I'm super qualified to do this.
You do it, man.
The only thing I don't have is an action-packed life, but besides that,
is that a requirement?
I don't think it is, but
get into the program, take it on the sailing trip.
Yeah.
And don't lose it.
I'm just saying it'd be pretty cool if we got to test this thing.
Daniel, you got to submit. The people want you to submit.
Yeah, you think they do?
Yep, all the listeners are going to write in and tell you, you got to do it. You got to go for. You got to follow. Don't let your dreams be dreams, Daniel.
Maybe I won't.
Revive that YouTube channel.
What if I did?
Just for
I'm just saying, how many people do you think are going to apply to this that both have an FPV YouTube channel and have previously had an NDA with an FPV company? Like, I'm pretty qualified to do this.
Maybe like 50.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a cool product.
Let them know you have a Camera Gear podcast.
That's true.
And then tell them they can also sponsor our podcast.
Even better. It like I've said, so this is coming under a different brand, which I think is interesting. They're not branding it Insta360.
Antigravity.
For one thing, it makes it seem like there will probably be more. But I do trust the overall project a lot more, knowing that it's coming from Insta360, because they're an established company. They've released a lot of products. I could see it being successful.
They are. This is like almost like a separate company. I'm reading the Antigravity brand story right now, and I don't know if you know this, but the Antigravity drone was born as a response to the involution of the drone industry.
I did not,
and that they were incubated by Insta360 and third parties
and mysterious third parties.
Yep.
Like I said, I think the biggest thing they have going for them is the spotlight that DJI has on them right now in the US. Like the fact that DJI is having some trouble selling their stuff here.
Oh, for sure.
Is probably their biggest chance of being successful. But there aren't that many companies that probably have like the brand cachet to pull this off. And I do think Insta360 is one that might be able to get them.
Oh yeah. Here. Yeah. They got the technology for it for sure. This isn't innovation for its own sake. It's about redefining what drones can be.
It's just too much, man. It's just the marketing's a little
it's
laid on a little
intuitive flying experience that everyone can master. But it's not just about flying. It's about freeing flight entirely.
It's also about being way too close to someone's face while they're flying and breathing in their face so you can see that little screen.
Dana, just ask yourself, what if drones felt like an extension of ourselves?
That's it for the show today. Thanks for joining us, and if you liked it, tell a friend so they can check it out too. You can find out more about the show at www.cameragearpodcast.com, and you can find us on Twitter at CameraGearPod. We'll be back with more next week.